Good evening, everybody. How are you guys tonight? And welcome to another Top Crop Watch Party. All right. Well, Seth. Look, Russell, I did not mean to call you Seth.
I'm gonna cut you with a dull spoon.
It's the beard. I think it's the
It's
beard.
the beard. It's the beard.
You
Uh,
you can tell what my season's been like if you see my beard. It's been a long season.
you've already got a lot of gray.
All them girls at my house.
Wait a minute. Perry, after
Yeah.
we didn't get invited to Montana, should we feel the least bit sorry for him?
I don't feel sorry for him at any time. But what we missed in Montana? Catch me
I
up.
I went on my honeymoon for a week. Me and Heather went out and we saw East Glacier and went down through Helena, Bozeman, Yellowstone, Grand Teton. We had us a little week break last week.
Well, good. Well, congratulations. I
Yeah,
hope y'all enjoyed that.
I'm gonna tell you what, it's a lot cooler up there than it was here.
dude, it was nice.
It was Perry. We have had some of the worst weather. I know you guys have too. We hadn't even been able to fly. We hadn't even been able to fly products home. We can't even get a good free time to fly.
Uh, we've been managing to keep up, but that's all we can do. Like when we go to spray, make any application, whether it's fertility or a pesticide. Uh, we split between plane and ground rigs and drones, but we're going a day early just because there's rain in the forecast. What takes
Yeah.
us 3 days worth of application time, we started yesterday. Yeah,
Well,
and we didn't get finished because it's raining now.
today we weren't supposed to have any rain.
And you got 4 inches? Who said that?
I did.
Brandon, and you got 4 inches? Wow.
Yeah.
We're uh we're 40 inches for the year. And our annual rainfall is 58 inches. So uh we're not even midway through the year, and we've got what is that? 75% of our rainfall. So we've got 15, 18 inches to go, and I hope it doesn't turn off that dry.
Well, I
Have
got
you?
a text. I got a text earlier today, and it's one of my great friends, but they're trying to replant cotton.
Right?
And some days it don't help. You should just stay at the house.
Yep.
And well, today was one of those days for him.
Yeah, we spot planted cotton on what was that? May the 33rd, I think.
Well, we're
So
just trying to get oats cut. We've been trying to get oats cut for 4 weeks now.
yeah, I didn't have any wheat this year, but I've got a friend of mine who finished today. His last field, he made 28 bushels, 49 test weight. So that's terrible.
Yeah.
That ain't making no money.
That is terrible.
We actually had some good oats. Rye, on the other hand, was a different story, but we had some good oats. We had 111. I
Well,
think we had 111 average on oats. Rye was 25 or 26, I think.
I'm going to tell you a quick oat story. This was 10 or 12 years ago. I planted some oats for someone. I don't know why I planted them.
Uh-oh.
That was a quick story.
Harry, where'd you go? We lost Perry
Bunch of
somewhere. Oh, there he is.
I planted a bunch of oats, and they got some kind of disease called halo. I don't remember what it was. Halo something, halo spot. They all fell out, and I made about 10 bushels. So I
Uh-oh.
never got in and out of something so quick. But yeah, I was gonna be a oat farmer extraordinaire, and yeah, in 1 year and out the next. So yeah, I have a
We had
tendency to do that.
we were cutting black oats
Yeah.
yesterday,
Okay.
and as many of you know or don't know, black oats do not go through the moisture tester like
Didn't
regular
realize that.
oats. Yeah, no, yet, and there is no test on our moisture tester, our base machine inside the lab. It does not have black oats on it.
Can you have it? What kind of machine is it?
The one, the about the size of a computer and sits on top of the desk.
Get
I mean,
track.
what brand is it?
I can't remember.
A
It's
Dickie
good.
John?
Yeah, it is.
You can call and get the updated code. You can get whatever code you want for the other grains. Probably we
Really?
have to do we have to do that on rice because they'll come preset with some stuff. But rice is kind of a little anomaly. So we call and they'll tell us like a 10-digit code to put in there. And now all of a sudden it'll read moisture on rice. So I'm not trying to mind your business, but that you might be able to.
No, any help we get works. You won't
Yeah,
ever hear me complain.
yeah.
Is
Well,
it
We
the
yeah.
have
coast?
hard enough trouble keeping everything running and in one piece, much less trying to figure out codes.
Is it the Cossack black oats?
Yeah.
We used to have to run them on barley.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
We'd run them on barley to get our moisture. It wouldn't give you test weight very well, but we'd get our moisture on it for drying.
Well,
Yeah, the
Hey, do you
John Deere
know?
combines they wouldn't give you yield and moisture and all on rice originally, so you had to run them on barley. But now
oh,
they are. But now they will calibrate for rice or have a pre-calibration.
Do you know the first person in the U.S. to grow those Cossack black oats?
uh-uh.
You talking to him?
You poor guy.
Them guys, hey, them guys messed up and didn't sell it to me as certified seed. They sold it to me as VNS for a cover crop. And I called the foundation. I said, if I bought these things VNS, can I replant them? And they said, yeah, absolutely. I said, here we go. We had people beating down our doors to buy them.
now, now, Perry, how's it looking as far as what you've got right now? This is as
All
far
right.
as it's the worst year I've ever seen that I can remember.
So I've had it a lot better than some of my neighbors. I've got pretty much high ground. It does drain, but it's been just so wet. The corn is starting to tassel. We're in very early tassel. I saw my first tassels today. I do have some corn in height. I'm gonna talk height. That is, tasseling at 10 feet tall. I've got some that is also 5 and 6 feet tall. The bottom ends of fields, holes and all. It's got good color, but it's just so stunning from the water, from the being the moisture of the whole for its whole life basically. Uh, so I finally got the color right. We thought we'd lost so much nitrogen. We put out another 50 units of nitrogen last week. It finally got good color, but it is stunning. So I don't know what it's going to do to me on yield. So I'm going to say we have very little excellent, a lot of pretty good, and some fair. And I'm calling this short, stunted looking stuff fair because I don't know what it's going to do. Soybeans looking pretty good. Uh, they're all lapped up. They're in pretty good shape. Cotton has been hit by, it doesn't like all this wet weather. The thrips have been on it, weed control, all those herbicides. We did start side dressing it yesterday. So this time next week, it ought to really start growing. We're forecast to have a hot week after this 4 inches of rain this weekend. What else? Rice, been fertilized some a week to 2 weeks ago. It's got a good color, so it's taking off. So
Now,
with the current
Perry,
with the current economy, it's not. It's just
that's what I
fair to
was fixing
good.
to
I
ask
wish
you.
I wish I can't say it's all excellent because it's not.
That's what I was fixing to ask you. What does the rice market do? We know what corn and soybeans does. What does the rice market do?
So 3 months ago, 2.5, 3 months ago, it looked pretty good. That was a shining star, but now it's fallen. Gosh, 25% from where it was 3 months ago.
Oh,
So yeah, it's taking on the chin now.
yeah. At least it's not cotton though.
Yeah, no kidding. I still got cotton from last year. I need to do something with. Ugh.
Well,
Hey,
Russell.
I'm gonna change the subject while I'm thinking about it since I've got the floor. I assume I have the floor. Today, what I did today, I went to Somerville, Tennessee, and looked at a mother bin. You know, we've been talking about that. Seth has
Mhm.
been wanting me to get with uh, the mother bin company and look at one of theirs. So I did today. So who knows what the future brings? It's
What'd you
on my
think
wish
about it?
list. I just don't know if it's on my wish list for this year with the current economy. What do y'all know about mother bins? Anyone using them?
I know a few people down under that use those bins, but
Yeah, that's
nothing
where they
here.
started.
What were your thoughts off of it, Perry?
I've had it on my mind for 4 or 5 years, and that's why I know they're out in Australia. You know, if it would help with efficiency, I'm all for it. They're not cheap. That's one thing. Uh, the ones I looked at, and she said the most popular one is the 4,000 bushel one, so roughly 4 truckloads. Um, and you just park it in the field, and your grain carts would unload in it, and your trucks would just pull under the mother bin and with the remote control, whether someone's on the ground with the remote control or the truck driver's sitting in his truck with the remote control, load the truck. Takes about 3 minutes to load a truck, and
Well,
just keep on going like that.
and
I
with
said,
the
boy, that'll make a
trucking,
big mess quick, wouldn't it?
yeah, but with the trucking situation nowadays, I don't know about you guys, but trying to get trucks in and out in time anymore has become just as big a nightmare.
Yeah, it's the logistics of, and this is supposed to help with that.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Now, I do got one question, and Russell, I guess we got a viewer that posted it, and I'll let both you go with this one. Dorn Weaver the second posted, "What are the thoughts on biosludge used as fertilizer?"
I wouldn't put it on my land if it was the last fertilizer around. I mean, the bios. Are you talking about bio sludge, like municipal sludge?
Yes.
I've seen too much heavy metals.
Yes.
There's there's
Yep.
there's too much in that mess. We had an outfit that came out here that was putting it on hay ground on pastures, and after like 2 or 3 years, even grass quit growing, and I swear birds wouldn't land on them fields. And it
No,
took quite a while.
now we actually have a field with aluminum toxicity. So if you would like to know the truth, I will show you the test results. Russell's aware of that field. It is uh, the corn has roots on 125 acres. The corn has roots. It's about 3 inches deep, and they die after that.
Yeah, so I don't know about the sludge, but I do know about aluminum toxicity. That's a real deal. If you have a problem with that, you've got an issue. And you've got to deal with it.
And
And I don't know what.
there's only a couple of ways to get rid of it, and none of them are easy, and none of them are affordable.
How do you get rid of it? It's been a few.
Well, what we've learned on ours, and we've had really good results. We've dropped the numbers. Uh, Silica potash, really good humics,
The
and
salts.
and running it black oats. And when you run the black oats, you have to bale the black oat straw and
Get
cannot
it out of
leave
the field.
anything. Yep, cannot leave anything in the field.
You don't want it to break down and release back into the soil.
Now, roll it down the hill into the bottom of the hill by the creek.
Hmm.
Then it kills the kudzu vines, but they still grow.
And that's due to municipal biosludge or sludge
Well,
applications. You think?
it's down to one of several items, and yeah, that's I hate to say it, but it's that or the potash, the lime substitute of the ash from power plants.
Yeah.
They all have high contents of heavy metals.
Yeah. So how many years did you do this, or did somebody else do it and you just taking you?
Somebody
You
else
and him.
did it, and we started rehabbing it about 4 years ago, and we went from 1,400 parts per million down to, I think we're down to about 900 now.
Are you trying to raise a crop, or do you say it's pasture?
Oh, it's corn.
So
It's
you're
corn this
you're
year.
seeing improvements though. You're gaining on it, not
Here's
just in
what,
numbers but in yields.
not in number, and where what we've learned is foliar, 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 foliar. If you're going to get a yield, foliar, whether it's airplane or pivot, either way.
So
We've been
what is exactly taking place? Break this down for me. When you talk aluminum toxicity, I
what
understand
it
the heavy
does.
metal part of it, but what is actually affecting the plant? Is
It
it just
breaks
Burn.
down the plants the roots can't grow down into it, and it
it's
basically
just choking it out?
chokes
It
the
burns
roots
them.
out, burns the roots, it burns the roots off, so the plant cannot uptake any energy out of the ground. The only way you can get energy into the plant is by foliar moves.
So you can't put, let's see, aluminum. That's going to be a positive. So can you apply apply anything to attach to it and leach it on out, or
That's what the potash silica does. When the
potash
potash
silica? See, I'm not
silica,
familiar with that. I mean, I know about silica, but I didn't know there was even a product called potash silica.
yes. And what we
Or
do,
basalt.
you're gonna laugh.
What's that molecule look like? I mean, what's the SIK? Or yeah,
It is a really weirdly shaped molecule when you look at it the way if you were to look at it in a microscope, it would
so
not
is it a
be.
ultimately, is it a negative charged, I
Yeah,
guess?
yeah,
And so
yeah.
it'll attach to the aluminum and allow it to flush on out, I
As soon
guess.
as it hits the soil and gets down into the soil, it releases the potash and attaches to aluminum and then keeps going down.
Okay, interesting.
Uh, but you're gonna laugh.
Why couldn't you just put out straight uh silica?
It won't attach to it. It's got to be negatively charged.
Okay, so hold on. Okay, keep talking. I'm interested in this.
The one cute thing that we've learned, and do not laugh at me for this because I know Russell's fixing it. He probably knows where I'm fixing to say where I got it from. There's only really one place or group of agriculture people you can get potash silica from in the United States, and that would be the cannabis growing associations.
And why are they using it?
I've yet to figure that one out. I guess
Don't
I
ask
get,
questions.
but I'm gonna tell you what. When you get it, and had I not have done this, we pulled it into the lab and put it in a microscope. We order it in 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah.
When you put it, it looks just like water. It pours like water. And when you
Okay.
take that water and put it on a slide under the microscope, it has an almost snowflake look. How a snowflake looks under the microscope,
Right.
that's how that looks. It's kind of cool looking.
That water does when you put the
Yep.
water, the substance under the.
We put it out either by sprayer or by aircraft. We put it out twice this year already.
Yeah.
When you put it out by aircraft, it actually flows really good going out and gets down through the corn and into the ground. And we're hoping a couple of more years and we'll have the aluminum toxicity under control, except for in the waterways.
So what else is it doing to your soil? Anything? I mean, if it's that aggressive towards aluminum, what else is it doing to your positive charge ions?
Nothing. It just
It's just
absolutely
that one.
yep.
Just aluminum.
Yep.
Okay.
And when we run a heavy metals test, that's the only heavy metals that shows up. And little did I know that human sludge, well, we knew human sludge has it, but these power plants that burn wood chips, pine wood chips, there is a substantial amount of aluminum in pine.
Okay.
And when they burn the ash, that is what comes out of it. And it's at a high rate when it comes out. We've had it as high as 2,400 parts per million in some of that ash.
Huh.
But it's been an experience. But I also learned something else about that silica potash. We've had better results getting into, we actually sprayed some areas that weren't toxic and had huge results of the potash into the plant.
So you're getting some benefit out of the potash as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's interesting.
So, but it's not a bad. It's been a learning experience.
So how did you hear about this?
What, the aluminum toxicity?
Well, no, not the cure. This cure or this.
I learned about it about 3 years ago, and we immediately started going in and exploring it. And
Right.
many people know me because when I have, as my son says, I have no life, and I sit at home and I look. That's how I came up with Turntail. That's how I came up with Flock Off, and the same thing with this. We got to looking, and one lead leads to another, and it was the largest rabbit hole you've ever seen gone down in your life, but we were able to track it back and figure out how to fight it.
And so when you source a product, I guess you just basically Googled it and started hitting all the cannabis industry lit up.
Well, there was a lot of the product there on the West Coast. There's a fair amount of the product, but the consistencies and the quality control was awful.
Yeah, I mean, probably isn't any.
It was no consistency whatsoever. And then you start looking through the cannabis guys, and they have a pretty substantial consistency the way they operate.
Right.
So I ordered some, and we did a test plot, and we had huge numbers because I did something crazy on that test plot, which you couldn't affordably do on the whole field, but we did it anyway. We did it on about a 1 acre plot. I put enough for 100 acres on 1 acre, and we saw what we had. And that's when we stepped up and went to spraying. My pilot thinks I'm crazy. He doesn't even ask anymore. He'll probably
all right. So I'm really thinking now. So can you not make it in a lab yourself? Can you not make it? I said lab.
We've tried it. If I had a better lab, yes, I could. Yeah, it can. I mean,
if you had a little plant, can you use potassium hydroxide and I don't know what silica come in?
Potassium hydroxide in this silica. There's a plant. The silica that was in my jug actually comes from a plant 12 miles from me.
What is it called? What's that raw material called?
It's an actual silica. It's an actual silica with it goes through a stupid sieve number. I want to say it was a 500 sieve that it goes through. And they manufacture it just 15, 20 minutes up the road here.
All right, so I'm gonna ask one more question, and I want to hear Russell talk about drones. But the pH. What's the final pH? It's got to be hot or acidic.
It is. pH on that field right now is 7.7.
I'm not talking about the field. I'm talking about the product.
Oh, the product. The pH on the product.
No, it'd be high. Yeah.
Yeah, pH on that product's 11.
Yeah. So they're not putting that out of the plane. They'll eat the booms off of them.
Well, That
You're talking to the. I know all about running booms. Letting that stuff sit overnight.
well, the pilot. Well, it was funny. This last spray that we put on a humic. And when I showed up at the runway with a tote full of the humic, I put on humic, boron, uh, silica potash, and he looked at me and he said, "If I have to clean this airplane out, you and I are going to tangle." And he said, "I
Well,
will." He said, "I will flush this plane out on top of your brand new white truck."
yeah.
He
I just
sprayed.
know
He
what.
sprayed the field and flushed the tank, and it didn't have. There was no residue in the tank, none.
Yeah. Well, when I used to put out silica, we'd put out a small dose. We'd just use it, let it sit in the tank overnight, clean the tank out, and then we'd actually do a tank mix for an application the next day because it
Yeah,
would make it squeaky clean.
it did a wonderful job. I was impressed with it.
But
So,
what I'm saying, a pH of 11, it will eat an aluminum boom off an airplane.
oh yeah.
It'll look like you shot it with a shotgun. There'll be holes. The holes come
Well,
up. In it.
the only reason that we didn't argue about it is in 450 gallons, we put out 5 gallons of that mix.
Yeah. Okay.
Otherwise, I would have gotten yelled at.
Yeah. All right. Have we beat this horse, Russell?
What's
Russell, are
up?
you awake?
Are you
Oh
asleep?
yeah,
I've
I'm just
asked
over
so
here
many
learning
questions
about
about.
calcium silica.
Yeah.
They do make calcium silica too.
Where? I'm gonna shut up.
I would love to see what the calcium silica would do.
I got some
Do you really?
sitting right over there. Got about a quarter of a pallet of it.
Well, we may have to trade. I'll send you
I
more
seen
turkey tail.
I seen you a jug or a box.
Now, how are you using that? Okay, I can't shut up, Russell. How are we using that?
4 ounces in furrow, and then if we're going through stress, I'll spray it over the top. It helps with heat and dry stress. I mean, the kelpine that Corey's got works good, but that stuff right there is, I call it Old Faithful.
So, what's it actually doing?
If you're going through like some heat stress stuff, you can put it on there, and it'll help with ethylene production, especially on beans like pot abortion in the hot of the summer. I mean, the nickel helps a bunch, but you mix that with some nickel. I mean, I don't really talk about it a lot because it's
It's kind of
it's
getting in the
thicker.
weeds, really. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's thicker than cold molasses, and I mean, if you don't have a really good system to blend that stuff up, you can plug some nozzles up in a quick hurry. Been there and done that.
What's the latest in the drone world?
I mean, these things coming. I mean, I think there's things coming to make everything out there obsolete. I have to leave it at that.
Well,
Are we talking about size, swath, speed? What are we looking at?
Acres per hour and number of flights per day and acres covered per day.
Huh.
Ground,
Okay.
ground. I'm talking ground rig acres with one drone.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
You get, you
I
get,
can't wait.
you get some time after July and you want to fly out here. I'll pick you up at the Hickory Airport and we'll show you some of the toys.
Okay, I may take you up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hey, we could get in trouble that way too. You know that?
What?
I'll be there. I'm in. I'm in.
Well, like I said, y'all land up here at Hickory about 10 minutes from the house. I'll pick you up and we'll go out and we'll let it spread its wings. But
Why don't I just come straight and land at the shop?
you know, if I get time, because this season has been absolutely a wreck. on getting stuff done timely. But if I happen to make it out to Arkansas, I'll bring one with me.
Yeah.
My schedule actually in July, I have to go to Illinois, Indiana, Chicago, and then I was actually going to come back through Arkansas on the way back. So we may have some fun.
We didn't try to do that. So what weekend is that, or when is that, Brandon?
I'm in Chicago the week of the 14th, and I think I got to come back through the fertilizer trade show on the 17th, and then I'll be like 18th. I'll be right around there somewhere around that time.
That's the 18th. That's a Friday or Saturday.
I think it's a Friday. Let me look.
I've got a class reunion that weekend. That's why I'm.
Well, then we'll figure it out one weekend.
Um,
The 18th is a Friday. I'm in Chicago on the 14th. Actually, we could probably do it on Monday, the 21st or the 22nd.
Well, 19th through the 22nd is when the group's going to be here.
Well,
wait a minute. We go over there.
Yeah, we could all meet there. I could come down from Dave Schrock's and just come straight that. We'll come straight to North Carolina.
I gotta go to Minnesota the 14th to the 18th, and then I'll land back the 18th, and then the 19th through the 22nd. I'll be honest with you at this point, I don't know how many people's going to be rotating in and out of here.
Well,
but we'll have some toys.
Just keep me posted. I think I got some that next weekend too. I believe it's the 24th.
I mean, if you want to buy one, I'll sell you one. I'll give you a deal on it too.
I need to come out and see what we're talking about.
Well, let's we've kind of run long, and I know
I was gonna say I've talked too much, so
no, he's gonna be. We all know our background producer's gonna be getting on to us because we hadn't run the video.
All right.
What do we got tonight?
Y'all get that going. I'm gonna go in there and eat. I ain't eaten yet. Dinner time.
That'll work.
Good to
Perry,
see y'all.
We appreciate you being here with us.
Enjoyed it.
Thank you, sir.
Next time.
All right.
Without further ado, let's roll that footage.
Time for new season top crop. The health of our soil is going to contribute to us making money.
I call it turning trash into cash.
I'm still looking for big wins.
I think it looks good.
Welcome to Top Crop. Mid-season, season 2, I guess you would say. We've been talking about our relay crop, wheat and beans. We are out doing some tissue sampling on the relay beans in here. We've got Brad from NMS Nutrition. He's leased one of these Leaf Tech, what's the right way to say
Leaf
it?
Tech,
Leaf Tech
yeah.
Scanners, I call it. So we took a bunch of corn samples already this morning. We're gonna go take some more, but we're gonna get these relay beans in here. It is June 18th right now. These are 3.5 beans, which is later than I would normally plant, but we just looked and we're already throwing a few blooms. So planted April 11th. So I mean, that's all good news. You know, the earlier in getting them blooming, the better. The wheat is, I don't know, with hot, what's this, 2 weeks off yet, Brad?
Probably 2 weeks.
2 weeks will probably be in harvest in this. Hopefully what I have set up will harvest it properly. This is all an experiment, but I think it's gonna go okay. So that's what we're doing today. Let's take a couple of these scans here, Brad. Okay, you wanna get the whole trifoliate in, right?
Yep.
And probably like the last full one, I guess. So I'm gonna say it's that one.
And then again, we'll watch our picture here and see if we can see 3 leaves when it comes up. You gotta look kind of close, but if you look really close in there, I think you can see those 3 bean leaves.
Right, okay. Let's jump over one here, take one over here. Hang on, Brad, you see there's a weed in there.
Oh.
See that? Okay.
All right.
Now you got to reject?
No, hadn't started.
Okay. So See the blooms? They were just starting blooming. And that before summer solstice, you would say. Oh, good to see that. Early planted beans, that's how you can get that done. Now, the only thing I'm a little concerned about with a relay crop is, you know, the stem, well, they're nodulating. The stem stays narrower, I think, and they're trying to grow taller because, you know, they're trying to get up and out of the wheat. But once the wheat's off, I have such wide rows, I'm hoping they're just gonna bush. But like I said, it's all an experiment. We're gonna see here. So let's get another one, Brad. Beans are a little trickier.
The other thing about these blooms coming out real early is this is one of the fields that we always have to watch a little bit on white mold. And if we can get those things bloomed and closed up, then if we get that rain it's going to splash, we don't have to worry about any white mold here.
Right. And when you tissue, like beans for this size of leaf, you know, I mean, I'd be out here. It takes at least, maybe it doesn't take as many as I think.
We went ahead and sent in plants to
You
let them sort.
did?
We did.
Okay, all right. So I would take, you know, you know, at least 10 trifoliates
Yeah.
at least to get enough mass, you know, when they're only that big. So, but I think this one will just see what the leaf tech thing says.
And you're
so.
typically, if the corn that we're shooting today is going to be in the 4.2, 4.3 range, I would expect these beans on nitrogen to be 5.1, 5.2. They're just
They're always higher.
They're always higher in nitrogen this time of year.
They're higher in calcium too. Have you noticed that?
Yep.
Seems like the boron will show up a little bit easier in them too. I don't know, just certain things it does. Yeah, they show up higher. And potash is usually a little bit higher to start with, and then it falls off. But okay, let's move on to something else.
There's basically 2 million pixels that shoot through this leaf.
2 million pixels. Hang on, go back, open, okay.
It's a little more of a challenge to get a trifoliate in there and keep them flat and not overlap.
You try to put all 3 of the trifoliate in, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like when we were doing the wheat here the other day on the relay wheat.
Yeah.
Is how many pieces of wheat to get in there to get an accurate reading without confusing the pixels. So this gives us NPK, this gives us boron, zinc, manganese, magnesium.
Most of the micros.
Yeah, molybdenum, we're working on getting it in there. It's harder to detect cobalt, and so it's going to be one of the later ones. Right now we are up to speed and comfortable with corn, soybeans, and cotton. We are getting close on wheat, and there's a baiting on here, and we are now starting to add the palms, or you know, like apples and oranges and fruits and vegetables and those kinds of things. So,
Do you know what this is, Brad? I mean, it was off here and it's here too. I don't think it's part of an injury.
this looks like an early blight of some kind.
Well, there was shit growing on, yeah, like a, you know, like, see these? I mean, they're,
Yeah.
looks like a wart almost. I mean, see that? I'm gonna put a little bit more fungicide out here with another app here, but right here's more of it, see?
Yep.
And that leaf's all messed up.
Another thing that we're doing, the sugars, octane. We gotta have that sugar. We gotta have the kelpine for the stress mitigation. And then the big one, something we found out just 2 years ago, we've been toying with and we found it consistent. Onward Max, 6.5 ounces. And let me tell you, the trials that we ran with that, there's a reason why it's going on every single acre of our corn.
We've been very happy with the roadability. They've been very smooth on the road, not bouncy. They don't have the loud sprayer noise. So we're going to be putting a lot of high road miles, a lot of heat, and in the summertime. So we're really excited to see that, and the less compaction, our clay soils getting over it, and sometimes even tougher conditions.
We have a very aggressive warranty on these. They're 7 years, even covers field hazard and stubble protection, which means that, CIAT really does feel we have a great quality tire and we're standing behind that.
Cornstalk stubble is extremely hard on tires, so that's really good for us.
Hey, Top Crop, Season 2, middle of June. We're applying some of our Ag Explorer foliar products. We did it this morning. We have some representatives from Ag Explorer out here. Just kind of talk about what we're doing, the different products we've used, kind of the stage of the corn, and you know, the benefits of using these certain things. So that's what we're out here doing today. We're gonna look things over. We might dig a few roots here in a little bit and to see how things are progressing. Ben from Ag Explorer, your last name is Westendorf?
That's right.
Is that the right way to say
That's
it?
right. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Ben's, I don't know if I want to call him completely local here because he's in Iowa.
That's right.
And we're in Illinois. So not exactly local, but Midwest,
Midwest
agronomist
local.
for Ag Explorer. Suzanne's behind Seth there hiding. She's our local Ag Explorer representative. So we got a couple people from Ag Explorer here today looking things over. I'm going to use your college educated, I want you to stage this corn, Ben, because
Sure.
everybody stages it a little bit different, whether they count the very bottom
Some tillers going on down there
or
too.
not. Oh, there's a lot of tillers usually, yeah.
Go V8, I believe.
That's what I would call it, probably V8, yeah. You know, you want to make sure you have that full collar, but sometimes that smallest leaf has already somewhat disappeared
Yep.
by now. But how did they teach you? Did they teach you to count the first one? Or?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Looking for. They're going to start falling off here. They're burning off the first couple, and that's normal. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one hasn't fully set on a collar yet. We're looking for a collar like on a shirt.
Right.
So we're not quite there yet. So.
Right. This corn does have some burnt leaves, which that's my fault. I did that with calcium nitrate on too hot a day. So I won't do that again, but it's grown past that now. It did kind of yellow it up didn't look real good for a couple days, but anyway. So what we did today, the application today, was the calcium products. What's the proper name of it?
Full cal.
Full cal. It's a 6% calcium. We put a quart of that to the acre out. I'm a big believer in calcium. If you look at the tissue samples of like the highest yield guys, they will be high in calcium. And sometimes it's hard to do with liquid products, but the guys with the highest yields are usually in calcitic soils. They've got base saturation calcium, you know, some in the 80s, right? You know, I mean, Francis Childs, you remember the old, are you too young?
Yeah, I might be too young.
To remember Francis Childs? Well, he's too young for that, but that's back, he held the dryland corn record forever. I think Russell broke it, you know, part of Top Crop this last year. And he's in a very calcitic area. I haven't asked Russell just exactly where his are, but high calcium soils will grow really good crops in corn. But you can help with calcium products. You know, we use gypsum, some of these other things, and try to add some different calcium things. So that's the reason we're looking at calcium a lot of different times. We also use potassium acetate. Your version is it Nutrac?
Nutra-K.
Nutra-K.
Nutra-K, yep.
Nutra-K. Okay, which is it's a straight potassium acetate, isn't it?
That's right.
Maybe with the little asphalt thing in it, or just straight potassium acetate?
It does have some technology in it, yep.
Yeah, okay. It's just a little different than your normal potassium acetates, but I've used a lot of potassium acetates over the year to help get potassium into the plant a little bit later season. You can have very high potassium levels in the soil, and some of ours are pretty good, but it gets locked up in the soil, and it's hard to get it into the plant, you know. So sometimes you got to add some of these different, either foliar or, you know, maybe something you're Y dropping in with some potassium to try to get it immediately available if you're really trying to achieve high yields. So I believe about V5, V6, we put Architect on this. And the KSB it's a multi.
It's got potassium sulfur boron. That's where the KSB comes from.
KSB, that's our local hospital, KSB.
I saw that.
Yeah, Catherine Shaw Betcher.
Okay. We're going to try to stay out of there today.
Yeah, right. Before that, at planting, we had 2 products at planting, didn't we? Was it Octane? It was Adrenaline and Upward. I'm going to let you explain those 2 products, what they were.
Yeah, so Upward and Adrenaline are two starter fertilizer products. It's not a commodity fertilizer, but they're technologies that go with your starter fertilizer. Upward, what that's really meant to do is go in a 2x2 situation. Works really well in furrow as well, but if you're using something like a 10-34-0 in a 2x2 situation, it makes sure that fertilizer stays right where you put it and is available to the plant a little later on. Adrenaline is just an absolutely technology-packed monster. You'll see just extreme root hair growth, making cast that bigger net of those roots so that the plant can take up those nutrients later on in the season.
Yeah, roots are always key, especially that's one thing we always strive for is really good roots, and that can come through added products or good soil biology helps with that too. Compaction and all that. We use some manures, so lots of times we have pretty decent roots, but if you can enhance that, there's sure nothing wrong with that. So anyway.
This got Architect, you said?
Yes. And I don't know, what do you normally see from Architect?
Architect, what we're looking at is if you would take do you have any untreated stuff around here? It's all treated?
Well, yes, we do.
So if you would take
we just have to walk over to it.
That's all right. So if you were to take the same physiological leaf from the ground up, so if we go fifth leaf up on treated, we have to go fifth leaf up on the untreated.
Yeah.
And what you would see if you would lay the untreated over the treated, this is what you would see. You would see bigger leaf with the Architect. Yeah,
okay.
Bigger, fatter, wider leaf. Then we paired it with sulfur KSB, right? Right, so then we're packing the food within that plant, within that leaf, so then later on in the season when we need it to fill that kernel, we have it there. We call that source to sink movement. So.
And wider leaves is obviously more photosynthesis, more everything going on.
Also within that Architect is a micronutrient package to support photosynthesis as well. So.
Yeah, I think I noticed there was some of that in there.
Yep, also. Nothing there that's going to fix a deficiency, just the right amount to support photosynthesis.
Right, okay. All right. Let's move back into the kind of just off the end rows here, unless there's something you want to look at in here. I don't any right here because I consider this contest corn.
Sure.
And I hate to dig them out in here. But on the end rows right here, we can take some if you want to do that.
Another thing that we're doing, the sugars, octane. We got to have that sugar. We got to have the kelp for the stress mitigation. And then the big one, something we out just 2 years ago, we've been toying with, and we found it consistent. Onward Max, 6.5 ounces. And let me tell you, the trials that we ran with that, that's why it's going on every single acre of our corn. Fungicide we're using is Veltima, because our 3rd year with it. It's been working great. There has been some tar spot already spotted in northern Ohio. Normally we've already flown all this corn, but we was able to wait until July 26th today. It's already past blister stage, starting to fill out already. Clearly we've been able to keep disease pressure away, and Veltima should protect us all the way through the rest of the season. Welcome back to season 2 of Top Crop. Here today, it is Friday, June 14th. We're out here checking on some corn crop. But today we got a special guest. I'd like to think that we just hired him, but you might know him. His name's John, but you might know him better as TikTok famous Dancing Trucker.
How you doing? Thank you guys for having me out here today. We're going to be educated about our crops, and specifically our top crops, which would probably be corn.
Yep.
One of the top crops, yes. Thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you for coming, and we're going to probably put you to work by the time you get out of here. This is one of our first cornfields that we planted. Been off to the races ever since. We actually just got done spraying it last week. We got all the protectants on it. It's supposed to be 95 next week, so for a whole week. And like I said, we haven't had rain, so we gave it a healthy dose of the kelpine product. So we're trying to keep the stress away. Going to hopefully make it not stress at all. We're about to find out next week, but I'm not complaining. We've actually had some sunlight and some heat this year, and like I said, to run a real high yield on corn, we constantly got to flirt with a drought. So as long as we can get enough rain, looks like we're going to get enough heat and sunshine, so we'll see how it plays out, but right now I'm pretty happy.
Well, was always curious what the difference is between the corn on the cob we eat and then I guess there's specific corn for feed, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So this corn here is actually field corn. So there's what you eat, like what you see in the store, what we love to eat, what I eat tons of here in about another month, is sweet corn.
I got you.
So the main difference between the sweet corn and field corn is one is bred for test weight and for animals, your tortilla chips, corn syrup, that would be your field corn.
Okay.
Your sweet corn is bred to be sweet to the taste. So that will go into your canning corn products. It's going to go into your grocery stores of what you see. That's a lot more of a intensive workforce for that because you have to have a special picker for that. You got to pick it when it's still green. Obviously, you don't want it hard and eating sweet corn like that, we'd break all of our teeth.
Right.
But and just the taste doesn't have much flavor. So that's the biggest thing. But this corn here actually will go to Cargill and Dayton. And so what's interesting about that is all that is being made into corn syrup for Schmucker's Jelly, Coca-Cola, and Pepsi-Cola.
Okay. Then you have corn used for fuel as well?
Yeah, so ethanol is another place.
Ethanol, yeah.
Yeah, so if you go just 20 miles down, that's another place that we go to, and that's an ethanol plant. So they're using our corn in this area for that also. Another place, we have a lot of chicken feed places around here and hog farms. So I think it's Smith and something. It's got that good bacon.
So this is Holganics with deep injection. This is Holganics with dry over the top. And it should be 18 rows to the next flag. And this is our Holganics with dry fertilizer broadcast. The plant health is definitely better. We're seeing the first lower leaf is starting to stress a little bit. Here we might have been 1 or 2 leaves below the ear leaf that's already started to drop off and brown up. So I mean, the crop stress is a lot less
where we had the Holganics.
Choose your herbicide. Choose your pest protection. Choose AgVenture. The latest trait technologies featuring the power of the Enlist weed control system, plus the quality and service you know and trust. Produce more bushels with 4-Seed Enlist and PowerCore Enlist corn from AgVenture. Visit agventure.com/corn traits to get a whole farm solution with the latest corn traits.
Rest would be the river. We haul some corn and beans down to the river, and that's going to go down more for exporting.
Okay.
So, I mean, I could go to.
So you even go across seas with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. We're kind of lucky where we're at in this location. We're only an hour away from the river. You know, 30 minutes from Dayton, 20 minutes from an ethanol plant. We have a lot of different areas we can take her.
So you pretty much stay busy year-round during the winter. Do you invest in taking care of your fields during the winter time, or?
Winter time is trucking. That is
okay.
So
just shipping.
We have over 1 million bushels of grain to haul out of corn and soybeans.
Yeah.
And to give you an idea, one semi can hold about 1,000 bushels.
Are you hiring?
Hey, I told you I'll put you to work.
I might start hauling corn.
It's an intense process from start to end, but this is what I love, just watching it grow. I've said before, it's kind of like your wife gets excited having a baby and watching your kid grows. I don't know, men just don't have that attachment that a woman does, but a farmer has that attachment to their crop because we prepared the soil, prepared the seed bed, laid the seed, we're watching it grow, we're taking care of it, we're playing doctor, making sure it's healthy and needs everything that it needs. And and at the end, it's a very rewarding feeling to see that yellow gold coming out. I mean, because at the end of the day, that's hopefully, we make enough money to pay back the bank and all the loans it took to grow all this. And we get to, not only feed America, but we are feeding the world with this corn.
Yeah, definitely. Those are things that, like I said, when I'm driving down the highway and I'm looking at these acres and acres of corn, I'm kind of curious about what gets eaten, what doesn't get eaten for human versus animal. And then you touched on the ethanol part of it, and Wow. You could always use some rain now and then, though, couldn't you?
Yeah, as you can tell, we could definitely use some rain. So
I might have to do a little rain dance for you guys.
you know, I'd greatly appreciate it if you did a rain dance. Make it rain.
It's always more fun when people dance with me.
Oh, really? Well, I can't move them. I mean,
would someone like yourself inspire other corn growers to dance, maybe, or?
Oh, I mean, I believe so. Yeah. I mean, it's always worth a shot. I mean, you know, this could be the next.
Maybe they all do the rain dance.
This is the next silver bullet in ag right here. I mean, if you guys need rain, you don't pay attention to meteorologists. You go do a dance.
You go dance.
If nothing else, I'll at least make you feel better, even if you don't get the rain, right?
There you go.
All right, I guess I'll give it a shot, but I don't know the moves, so.
Throw your arm up in the air and rock from left to right, and.
All right, I'll just.
That's good. Left arm up. Hey, right arm. Shimmy with the shoulders. Hey, we're ready.
Oh, I got bones cracking.
Where you at, Ray? Where you at?
I think we did it.
That's gonna put a smile on someone's face, I guarantee you. Oh, yeah. Never danced in a cornfield before. Back in the day, now people hear that song online and it's the Dancing Trucker song. That song's been around for 35 years. Right, write that down.